Well, good afternoon and welcome to the very last presentation of the day. Cytomedix is proud to be a sponsor of this terrific event, and Martin Rosendale, our CEO, sends his regrets that he could not be here today. Since we are publicly traded over the counter on the Q Exchange, we are making forward-looking statements today. You can find our safe harbor disclaimer in the slide deck and in our public filings. Overall, Cytomedix is a well-funded company focused on commercial execution. You can see from the timeline, we've had a busy year. In March and April, after we closed on the first tranche of the convertible debt financing with Deerfield, we began to reorganize the company by building out our commercial team. In May, we discontinued an R&D project whose phase 2 study did not achieve the results we aimed for, thus adding savings of approximately $4 million annually. Over the summer, we continued to utilize the proceeds of the financing to enhance our commercial operations and to enter into the strategic partnership with NetHealth to enhance data collection for coverage with evidence development, which I'll explain a little bit later. While we are not currently providing guidance, you can expect metrics in the near future, and our corporate focus now is on the continued commercialization of Atala Gel, the first and only FDA-cleared autologous platelet-based wound technology. Atala Gel is targeted in the wound care market, which is estimated to be $2.2 billion in the U.S. The reimbursement landscape, as you heard earlier today, is changing, with payers looking for cost-effective solutions, including in the wound care space. Late last calendar year, we out-licensed our Angel blood and bone marrow processing system, which is used in orthopedic applications, to Arthrex, and we're receiving royalty payments for that technology. We're utilizing the capital from the Deerfield deal to ensure we successfully commercialize Atala Gel. Now, the Atala Gel System is a point-of-care device that processes a patient's own blood to produce plasma that is mixed with pharmaceutical reagents to form a gel that is injected into a non-healing wound. This bioactive gel restarts and promotes healing in these wounds, and Atala Gel is the only FDA-cleared product for treating a broad range of wounds. The product, as I just mentioned, addresses the unmet need of non-healing wounds. You can see from the chart the incidence of various wound types, including diabetic foot ulcers, DFU, pressure ulcers, which is PU, and venous leg ulcers are included in the other category. These wound types are expected to grow in the years to come. First and foremost, coverage with evidence development under Medicare, as shown in the bottom half of the slide, is national coverage by Medicare. The condition of this coverage is the generation of data, which I'll talk about shortly. Consistent with the development and CMS approval of our CED protocols, we've been working closely with CMS to position Atala Gel for appropriate Medicare payment, achieving the dual purpose of demonstrating value and generating access. The product works at the point of care in a safe, rapid, and effective manner. In the hands of a trained technician, the preparation and application of the resultant gel is simple and fast. Atala Gel does not need to be applied by a physician, but does need to be ordered by one. As it states on the slide, we have broad FDA clearance, which includes diabetic foot ulcers, venous leg ulcers, and pressure ulcers. We have several published articles that discuss the safety and effectiveness of the product. At the top of the slide is our pivotal study showing Atala Gel healing 81% of wounds that are less than or equal to 7 square centimeters, compared to healing 42% in the control group. The bottom of the slide shows a 285-patient subset of our registry whose wounds were about a year in duration. Of these wounds, 96% showed a response to Atala Gel within 15 days of treatment. This subset of patients was mainly in the long-term acute care setting, so their severity of wounds was typically greater than what you would find in the hospital outpatient setting. Now, here are the current and proposed 2015 Medicare reimbursement rates for various types of wound care treatments. And the payment rates reflect our economic effectiveness and competitiveness in the marketplace. We anticipate final Medicare payment rates for 2015 on November 1st. So on the commercial landscape, the size of the wound care market today is expected to grow greater than twofold in the next 10 years, with biologic dressings like AutoloGel experiencing the largest rate of growth. And one of our first commercial initiatives, of course, is the Coverage with Evidence Development Program. Now, back in 2006, CMS implemented CED, Coverage with Evidence Development, to recognize that there is some middle ground between yes and no as far as coverage goes. Prior to CED, AutoloGel was definitely on the no side of the binary equation. So since CED happened, and we were granted CED they made the national coverage determination in 2012, and our protocols were approved in mid-2013. So for that, we do get national Medicare coverage while simultaneously collecting clinical data. The intent of CED is to demonstrate the impact of health outcomes on Medicare beneficiaries, and you can see in that third sub-bullet that really ultimately CMS is to review the collected data, which will be published to inform their final coverage decision, which we expect will be positive for us. AutoloGel is one of 11 CED studies approved and implemented since the program was developed in 2006, and we do have the first CED protocols in wound care. So to successfully implement CED and continue to build our body of evidence, we have entered into and we've made CMS aware of our strategic partnerships with the leading electronic health record companies in wound care, IntelliCure and NetHealth. IntelliCure provides features that will assist in the complex analysis of the protocols, and NetHealth will provide the footprint of wound care centers to ensure that we capture the widest variation in Medicare patients, which is what CMS is looking for. Our commercial objectives, then, are to launch AutoloGel throughout the hospital outpatient market and outside of the CED framework in the Veterans Affairs healthcare system, to continue to build and enhance our commercial team, to work with payers outside of Medicare, and to leverage the data to solidify the value proposition for AutoloGel in the U.S. healthcare market. And this harkens back to the panel earlier today, where payers are seeking clinical benefit for patients in their populations. So to summarize how we are positioned for success, we will relaunch the product next week, actually, at the Symposium on Advanced Wound Care. We are marketing the product as the preferred option among wound care clinicians and payers, and we're expanding our sales team and supporting infrastructure to create and meet the anticipated product demand into 2015 and beyond. Thank you for your time and attention.